So an update to something I was talking about just a couple of days ago, but I made a heart-wrenching goodbye to my old friend Toys R Us. Well, it actually seems like maybe, just maybe, someone's going to purchase Toys R Us, and we may actually see the franchise continue on. I found an article that says that the company will also disclose that it is engaged in discussions with certain interested parties for a transaction that could combine up to 200 of the top performing U.S. stores with its Canadian operations. Toys R Us said in the statement, while discussions continue on this potential transaction, Toys R Us is seeking court approval to implement the liquidation of inventory in all the U.S. stores, subject to a right to recall any stores included in the proposed Canadian transaction. So, what that means is some of the stores might actually stay open. Now, looking around my area, I know of really only about 3 different Toys R Us's here in the Boston area, none of them directly in Boston, but one is not too far from me and one's in New Hampshire. Those are probably might be considered um, high grossing stores just because they're the only ones around, and they are in like very close to Boston. And New Hampshire is, of course, right over the border where no one pays taxes. So if you want to go there and do your shopping, especially your Christmas shopping, it's not a bad place to go to pick up your kids' toys, especially if you're spending a couple $100 on them. You could save a few dollars. So people jump the border to New Hampshire to go to Toys R Us. So it's possible that that might be one of the high performing stores. And it would be nice if of these 200, right, there's roughly one in each state or there. And I'm in New England. All of our states are really like tiny. So like one in like the Boston area, maybe one in Connecticut, and the one in New Hampshire. If they keep those 3 open for the 6 New England states, you kind of cover the entire all of New England, unless you're in Vermont or Maine, in which case you don't have much around you anyway. So it might be that we see Toys R Us continue on. I always said that they'll probably continue the Toys R Us brand in some sort of online way, kind of like they did with Circuit City, and I think Radio Shack sort of has something like that going. So the brand won't necessarily die out. But the idea of having this big store where you can go and there's all these cool toys, you can check them out and see them, I think is very appealing. So who knows? Maybe, just maybe, Toys R Us has been saved. It's one of those like Christmas miracles. But I don't know. How many of you are out there? Let's get together and pool our money, and we're gonna buy one of the Toys R Us's. I think there's enough of us out there. Maybe we'll just get like, how much can a Toys R Us be, right? Like, I don't know. Like, it's a big house, maybe $1 million. All right, let's all let's all pitch in. We're gonna buy Toys R Us. But I think it's really cool that after giving my heartfelt goodbye, someone sort of answered these prayers that maybe, just maybe, some of them will remain open, possibly sold to a different company. Now, one of the rumors about this, by the way, is that Hasbro might be purchasing these stores, which will be interesting to see if they're the ones that will purchase it. Now, Hasbro is located not too far from me in Boston. It's located in Rhode Island, in Warwick, although sometimes people say that they're from Providence. They're actually just a little bit closer to the Massachusetts border, and there's like statues of Optimus Prime and the Mr. Potato Head. So it's like it's possible that the stores around us will be the ones that remain open if Hasbro is the one that actually goes and purchases Toys R Us. So with that in mind, who knows? Maybe I didn't just say goodbye to my old friend. Maybe they will stick around. And Hasbro, of course, has Transformers, G.I. Joes. They purchased Mattel, not Mattel, Kenner, not too long ago. So they have Star Wars, which is like most of the toys. And you could almost see this as like a Warner Brothers store from some years ago where they had mostly Warner Brothers stuff. Those are really cool because at one time they had DC superheroes as well as Harry Potter stuff, but then they closed. And then you saw the Disney stores, once they had taken over Marvel and Star Wars, they started carrying Star Wars stuff and they started carrying Marvel stuff. So now you go into a Disney store and it's actually got all of that merchandise. So who knows? Maybe this Hasbro store or Hasbro Presents Toys R Us could be something really cool. Anyways, that's my speculation. I'm actually kind of excited that maybe, just maybe, a Toys R Us might wind up living a little bit longer. And, there's some part of me that's like, if Toys R Us was gone, some enterprising person would go and buy like a big box store that's out of business, and they would just open up a Kids World or Toyland or something, and they would have some kind of big toy clearance place. And it had always been my dream to have a toy place that was a really big place like Toys R Us that sold vintage, collectible toys as well as new ones. And I've never seen that either. So who knows? Maybe we'll see those pop up as well. But Toys R Us might not be gone, and that's pretty exciting. And it might just be a New England-based company in the future, which is also exciting for those of us here in the Boston area that are toy collectors and think that the whole thing is really cool. So it ended on a sad note last time I talked about Toys R Us, and now here it is, possibly continuing the Toys R Us franchise into the future. Well, we'll see. You're not going to see me for a while. I am off to Foxwoods. I will probably do a vlog for that, but it's going to be days. This is the first time I'm taking a real break from doing the vlogging in the 2 months that I started it, so I think that's going to be good for me because I want to start doing more quality over just talks. So nobody's listening to me talk, but they do really like it when I go out and do something crazy. So we're going to see how well those pan out. And that's probably going to be it until maybe like Thursday or Friday when I can get home and I can get the footage. But I've never really spent any time at the casino at Mohegan Sun, and I'm going to head down there to do some work. But I'm really excited to maybe, just possibly, look at the casino, like, because I go in there and I work and that's it. So I might actually be able to see some of what's going on in this casino. All right, that's it till next time. Hit the subscribe button and I'll see you around.